Hello, brother.
Hello, Mr. Kaiser. Nice to meet you. How do you do today?
Nice to. Yeah, I'm absolutely well. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. Can't complain. I'm doing well. Pretty good.
Okay, so brother, we are meeting here for the first time. We are
Yes,
meeting here for the first time. Would you like to introduce yourself briefly?
of course. My name is Amir. That's the name everybody knows and Call me. So I am from Bangladesh, basically. I currently work as an English teacher. Before, I used to work as an interpreter for an American company, and before that, I also worked as a general manager for a company. And I have worked in different fields, so my introduction can be a little more vibrant than normal ordinary people. But yeah,
Thank
that's a
you.
short impression about me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a wonderful introduction. Let me introduce myself briefly. That my name is Kaiser. I'm from Jharkhand in India. By profession, I'm an English language trainer. I teach basic English as well as how to face irrational fears. How can we overcome? So, this is my channel. It is all about learning English as well as how to improve communication skills. So, in this context, I have some questions that I'm going to ask you one by one.
What?
Shall I start?
Go ahead, please. Please ask me. Yes.
So, brother, as you are from Bangladesh, I am from India. So English
Mm-hmm.
is a common language. So you have been to UK, you have worked with American company as well. So
Yeah.
according to your point of view, what should a learner do to improve their English?
Okay. We can improve our English from different levels. Yeah, different people belong to different levels of English. And depending on your level of English, your strengths and weaknesses, we can give plans to our students as teachers. So it's not the same for everybody. It's going to be different for every different individuals. First of all, we have to measure their level of English, identify their level of English by some sort of assessment or evaluation. We have to calculate his weaknesses or her weaknesses or strengths. Then we can recommend him something. It's simply like you go to a doctor with some symptoms, with some diseases, and to receive some advice from the doctor, right? So it's the same when you're coming to a teacher, okay, English teacher especially. You have problems regarding your English language. Either you are struggling with your speaking, maybe you're struggling with your writing, maybe you don't understand people when they speak, or you don't understand natives. Okay, so different people have got different problems. You come to an English teacher, first of all, then explain your problems. Maybe the teacher will help you with some queries and inquiries. Maybe he will ask you something as well to find out your problem specifically. Once he has done that, he will come up with some sort of recommendations for you, which will be the best way, a tailored way to help a student or a batch of student with same types of same level of English. This is how I think we should actually think about problems and their solutions. Yeah.
Okay, brother, this is the common question that every learner has. That most of the people have disclaimer that when they start speaking in English language, people make fun of them. They insult them due to lack of grammar, due to lack of pronunciation skill. In this regard, what do you think?
Well, it does not only happen with English language. You start doing anything in your life which is new to you do something wrong, you don't do it properly, people will laugh at you at the beginning. Suppose you want to play cricket, okay? And you don't, this is the first time you're playing cricket and you don't know how to hold the bat. If you hold the bat like this, people will laugh. It's the same with
Absolutely.
English. When you are starting English as a newbie, then people will laugh. You must not worry about that. You have to focus on your goals and gradually move toward it. So just
Yeah.
simply don't worry. But it's difficult. It's difficult sometimes when people are mocking at you, or maybe making fun of you. It's difficult to resist yourself. But that's the way how life is, right? It's not only about English, it's about every single skill that you want to develop for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, brother, in between this topic, I just want to ask you that have you ever got humiliated, insulted, criticized, or not during your journey of English language?
Yes, yes. It happens with everyone. It's not like it happens with you. If anybody feels like he's an individual who is facing the problem, it's not that. Every single person in his life, they have to go through these things. And eventually, gradually, they start learning how to deal with these kind of situations. So don't think you're alone. Yeah, it happens with everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I have gone through this kind of difficulties a lot. At initial stage, I didn't even know how to speak in English language. Still, I struggle to speak, but I don't care. My motive is to speak in English language. I want to be a confident speaker. So I always rectify my mistakes. I don't care whether I am making grammatical mistake or pronunciation mistake. It will hold me back. If I
Yeah,
completely focus on it, I cannot share my feelings effectively. That's what I think.
that's true. That's true.
So,
Yeah.
brother, my next question is that when learners are on the verge of learning English, what should they go first? Fluency or grammar? What do you think about it?
This is a critical question, but a very common one asked by most of the students who are learning English as their second language. Okay. So the basic way of learning a language does not require grammar. If you want to, it depends on your intention. Why do you want to learn a language? If you want to learn a language just to communicate others informally, then grammar is not required. On the other hand, if you want to make your language sophisticated, you want to use it for formal office uses, or maybe for professional life or academic life, then grammar is a helpful friend along in your journey. So I would say for beginners who are trying to speak or learning English as a language, not as a subject, as a language, they should focus on fluency. And learners who are focusing to sophisticate their level of English, they need to focus on grammar. So, to me, if you ask in a generalized way, I would say fluency is first. Fluency comes first.
Absolute. That is how we learned our native language.
That's true. Yeah. You have
When we
learned Hindi,
started
or maybe you have learned Hindi or whatever the language in Jharkhand you use. Maybe what's the language of Jharkhand?
Khota, but we speak Hindi.
Okay, speak Hindi or Kota. So you have learned Kota or Hindi before you have learned the word grammar itself. You have started speaking in Hindi before you have heard about the word grammar, right? So it
Absolutely.
happens
Yeah.
with everyone. And grammar is taught in schools, high schools especially, to make your language sustainable so that you don't make flaws, you don't make mistakes, or you do understand mistakes when someone is speaking. So it's like food first, then shelter. Similarly, you need to speak first, and then grammar comes as a shelter.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
brother, I just want to know something more. That how long have you been working on English language?
I've been working intentionally. I don't remember. Maybe from maybe many years, but the journey started since my childhood. Okay, when I got the book ABCD book from my parents, that's the point when I have started my journey. But some people consciously they want to focus on a particular skill like English or spoken English or maybe writing. I would say I have never done or focused anything specific. I have not focused on English. I just have started learning from my school, and sometimes I have gained speed. Sometimes I slowed down, but it continued. It's a gradual process. It did not happen in a month or two. I would say it takes time. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did I ask this question? That many people think that English can be learned within 2 to 3 months. What do you think about it? Does the language have a time limit that how long will it take to be fluent in English language?
It depends on many things. It depends on your memory, your RAM and ROM. We do understand about computers, right? How fast can a computer save our data and remember it, right? So we also have brain. Some people can remember many things once if they hear it for once, and some people they struggle to remember. It depends on your memory, how fast your memory can save words, vocabularies, grammatical structures, and sentences. So depending on your memory, the time frame will depend. But yes, in 2 3 months, if somebody says you can be very good or sophisticated English speaker, that's not true. That is a falsified marketing strategy applied um, by many of the institutions in the subcontinent. Okay, which is extremely falsified information, misrepresentation of the true scenario. But yeah, in 2 3 months, if you intend to speak about ordinary things that you do every day, like waking up in the morning, 8 o'clock, then I brush my teeth, I go take my bath, then I have my breakfast, I go to my office. So this kind of things can be learned within 2 or 3 if you focus. An ordinary person can do that, but you won't be able to talk about politics if you just try to learn English in 2 3 months. You won't be able to talk about economics. You won't be able to talk about your own subject that you're studying in universities. So I don't think 2 3 months are enough. It's a gradual process. You'll keep learning from your birth to your death. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I rely on it. So, brother, my next question is regarding fears, irrational fears,
Yeah.
like fear of being judged, fear of making mistakes, fear of being rejected, fear of failure. What do you think about it? Does it exist in reality? I don't think so, as far as I'm concerned about it.
Yeah. It's a mental issue. Most of us we deal with this kind of problems in our life. It's I told you it's not only about English. It's about every single thing that you want to do for the first time. Okay?
Yes.
So when you want to develop English as a skill, you face problems like these. You get criticized by others if you don't pronounce correctly, if you make mistakes. People who already know the correct way of saying it will judge you. So if you think of these kind of criticisms, or if you are fearful about being judged, then these are the factors who are actually resisting you, stopping you. Okay. So to acquire real knowledge, real skill, you must carry on your journey, regardless of what people say, what others think, and be confident. Confidence will come with time. Gradually, when you improve yourself, confidence will automatically come. But at the beginning, you have to tell yourself, people will criticize me, or people will laugh at me, or let them do whatever they want. I just want to walk my way. I want to reach my destination. Yeah.
Yeah, so brother, you might have met some people who say that they can understand English, but they cannot speak in English language. Why does this happen to them?
There could be different reasons for this. Sometimes we cannot, because of our tongue is not ready to deliver the speech. It can happen. Sometimes our psychological strengths, sometimes we feel down, we feel anxious, we feel like we won't be able to deliver. So fear of being troubled, of falling in a troublesome situation. Maybe you think or you don't believe you'll be able to do it. Can resist you from speaking, although if you know. Sometimes inadequate practice if you have not practiced yet, and sometimes I guess you may forget about, like, some people have short problem with short term memory. So maybe in a long term they can think in their brain that they know, but when they deliver or start delivering, they're unable to remember words. So people become anxious in these kind of situations, and it can happen to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree. Actually, in this regard, what I believe that due to lack of practice, they are not habituated to speaking in English language. They have learnt English somewhere in their life, but they are not habituated to using it
Yeah,
in their daily life. Because of which, suddenly, when it comes to speaking in English language, they get stuck.
that's true.
They don't understand what to speak, what not to speak.
You are absolutely right. It's like when you see Virat Kohli batting, yeah, he's batting. You feel like, oh, I can swing the bat like him. But if you go on the field on your own and start hitting the ball, do you think you'll be able to perform like Virat?
No,
But when
never.
you are watching the match, sometimes you may feel like, oh, he should have swing the bat like this or like that. So we feel like that. We feel like that we know it, but we don't have enough practice. And without practice, you can't be confident and you can't achieve perfection. So yes, practice is needed.
Yeah. So my last question, last but not the least, MTI, mother tongue influence.
Yeah,
What happens? Yeah, what happens? I am from Jharkhand. When I want to sound like a native speaker, I'm not able to do that.
yeah,
While speaking, I just sound like Jharkhandi. I have been working on this language. It's been almost 5 years. Almost 5 years. Even though I struggle.
yeah.
So, what do you think about it? Why does it happen?
Okay. There are two different strategies of teaching English language. One is teaching English as first language, and second one is called teaching English as second language. So when you're teaching English as a second language, you have different strategies than teaching English as a first language. So what happens to us is we have learned English from teachers who pronounce in a different way than the native speakers. When we were children, okay, we did not get the opportunity to learn English from a teacher who could speak like the natives. Maybe the way we sound ABCD, yeah, our teacher, uh, we get influenced by the teachers who had taught us in the school. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. And listening plays a very very big role. If you listen from Jharkhand people, if you listen to English from English people, if you listen to English from Americans, your English will be influenced, especially at the beginning level. When you start your journey, if you have learned or listened to speakers from England, you will be influenced by them. If you have listened from teachers from Jharkhand who have local touch or local influence while they speak English, then of course you'll be influenced by that. That's a true problem. It's not a problem. It happens and it is being accepted by most of the English speaking nations. They do understand you. It's not like they don't, but they require some standard pronunciation. What we need to do is, instead of grabbing accents, we need to focus on pronunciation. How can we pronounce correctly? And in pronunciation, few things plays important and vital roles, such as pronouncing individual sounds of the words. Yeah, so like future, future, the word future. If you don't know how to pronounce it, maybe you'll pronounce it like fu, futuri, right? It can be pronounced like futuri, but if you know the exact sound, then you pronounce it as future. Maybe future, maybe future. Both are
Yeah.
understandable. Maybe as Indian, you can say future. It's still
Yeah.
understandable. Okay. And another thing is stress. Like when you talk or when you deliver a sentence, you have to understand where to stress. Where to
Yes. Yes.
stress. Like the word, think of the word photography. Photography.
Photography.
Photography. Where do you stress? Photo.
Photo.
Photo is the stress
To.
point. Photography.
Yeah.
Photography. You stress on to. Photo is the stress point. In photograph, photograph. Where do you stress? For
Graph.
photograph. Photograph.
Photograph.
Pho- Photo. Photo is the stressing point. So stress
Yeah.
actually changed the meaning. If I give example from in Hindi, you'll understand it properly, or your student or your audience can understand. There's a movie called PK. He has explained it very well, demonstrated the thing very well, like the word acha. It has been
Mm.
incorporated in the English dictionary as well. So it's English too. Acha is an English word now. So if you say acha, it means something. If you say acha, it means something else.
Mm.
Acha, it means something else. So when you're depending on your stress points, the meaning of the word can change. Same, there's another term called intonation. Intonation also plays a role in pronunciation. So when you speak, intonation is the basic ups and downs of your voice. So when I say, "Do you play?" If I ask you, then "Do you play?" I do play. So do you play? When I say play in a question with a question mark, then my voice goes up. Generally, intonation goes up, voice goes up when you ask questions. Do you play cricket? Do you play football? Am I right? So your voice is going up. But when you give statements like, I do play football, I do play cricket, I go to restaurants, your voice is going down. So these are few things that plays role in pronunciation, and you have to focus on that. Otherwise, you are not understandable. It doesn't matter
Absolutely.
how well, yeah, how well you try. So these are few things are which are mandatory for you, but not accents. Accents are not required. So don't worry about if it's Indian or if it's Jharkhandi or maybe Bangladeshi. It doesn't play a great role. But yes, good accents. If you can somehow speak like native speakers, like English speakers or American speakers, it works like an imitation or ornaments. Ornaments like a good watch. When you wear a watch, Apple Watch, or when you have a sunglass, yeah, people do see when you have a gold chain, yeah, wear a gold chain. So these things are show off type things. If you are good with your
Yes.
pronunciation or accent, people do notice you as a different person, but it is not mandatory. Accents are not mandatory.
Okay. It was a really a great conversation with you. I'm really glad to have you on this session. Learners may have learned so many things from you. Your accent is outstanding. Your pronunciation is completely accurate. Uh, I am struggling to correct pronunciation, but the way you explained everything, it is completely elegant, understandable. I would like to request whoever is watching this video, they should follow you. They should talk to you. They will get to know so many things from you. So thanks for
Learn
being
from
here, part of this session, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. I am really pleased to attend a meeting with you, and I have enjoyed answering the answers of your questions. Um, yeah,
Okay.
thanks a lot,
Thank
and I wish your channel grows fast because you're doing great.
thank you.
I have many of your videos. Yeah, all the best.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all the way. Bye
Take
bye.
goodbye.